Hey folks, welcome to Squid's Fab Shop. This is episode 7 of the Triumph TR4 rebuild. I had a bunch of video, it was terrible, I threw it out. I'm going to salvage some of it, talk over it, and get you up to speed on what's going on here. So let's take a look. It doesn't look too different from the last episode, but if you look closer, you can see I did weld the sills together. It's all welded to the floor. It's all complete. The caps on the front and back are in. So I'll go over that. But let me just get you started to the beginning, which is I had thrown on the fenders and door. The gaps look pretty good, but I did have a problem where the front fender wouldn't push in far enough up against the sill. So it was kind of a weird problem. I checked the dimension of the sill pinch welds side to side, and I initially got a dimension of about 49 7/8 before I took everything apart with the old parts, and this one was a little shy. So I think what the deal was is the sill, before I welded it, it kind of was like rolled. The top edge of it was rolled inward, so it didn't really match the pinch weld of the A post very well. So anyway, I corrected that. I wedged a board in and kind of rolled the sill outward. I did have to shim the A-post just a teeny bit, and I got the whole pinch weld, which is like a U shape, all in the same plane. It has to be coplanar, so your weather strip gap is the same all the way around. And once I did that and I rehung the fenders and door, it looked much better. The front fender fits nice with the sill. I can live with that. It looks really nice. Okay, so I built the thing back up on the bench and did my final modifications. If you see here, I fixed this gap. I put a wedge in there, welded it up. Don't have to care much about the welds here. I filled this patch that was missing from where I got them from. They must have needed this one little piece, so I made a new piece here. I still have to put the holes in there for that stamped J-nut thing. I got it welded in, both of them. Ground this one down. I don't need to worry about these since they're inside the sill. I gotta grind this down. I had to plug weld these with a MIG because I can't reach them with the spot welder. So it's a little more work, a lot more grinding. Getting through it. So here, this is a little bit too tall, or too long. I would rather this, when I pinch this back up, it leaves a little bit of extra stuff hanging down, so I think I'm gonna trim this. Okay, here's the slice I took out. Not much. So that's the back side, this is the front side. I did a pretty good job grinding it out. So it fits much better now. Okay, I've thrown this in for one more check after that end cap installation. It's just clamped in place right now, but I've got it so that the outer sill wraps right up against the floor drop. Much better. So that looks much better. But in general, the fit is really good. The holes line up nice. The pinch welds line up nice. The front's looking mighty good for the hole alignment. So, yeah, I think it's time to take this out. Prime the inside spot welds that I did. Same thing, I'm going to plug weld this end. I forgot and I coated everything, and I'd rather just plug weld it rather than try to spot weld through a bunch of paint. Okay, so I've got the preliminary welding done. I got the caps done, and I did those with plug welds. Boom. So there's the end cap. It's all done. So it's nice and tight. I did a couple welds here. I'm going to spot weld this, but I did a couple plug welds just to hold it together. Same in the bottom. So now it's time to fit it one more time. Okay, I kind of had to do this. I got the body panels on and I did a little more tweaking. This looks better. It sticks out a teeny bit, but I think that's within probably the factory did. That's my guess. And I think I can close these gaps up. I'll leave them a little more, but it's close enough. And of course I had to throw the wheels on. I just needed to see this car a little more whole. I haven't really ever spent time with it whole. So I just needed that. I needed to see it. It looks good. I kind of like seeing it with its wheels. I like the sill, looks pretty good. The gaps aren't terrible. I could definitely be happy with that. This car was really a wreck. Again, an outlier. Nobody would ever do this. But I just needed to see it. I'm pretty happy with it. Looks good. So... So, I think that's good enough for me. I'm going to take this back apart. Kind of sad because I like looking at it with the wheels. Okay, so let's just take this apart and proceed. Maybe I'll do the A-B pillar. Yeah. So, it's a little worse than I thought it was, but still not as bad as it could be, I suppose. I got to replace this whole L section here. You can see it's got a lot of rot, and most of it probably is because that channel used to be spot welded on here for the old style weather stripping. I'm not going to redo that. But I looked inside, and actually right up to the edge, it's pretty good metal in there. All this is good shape, very good shape. It's all good shape all the way down to the bottom. So I could probably, well, I know I can fabricate this very easily. Definitely going to have to do a lot of fab up here. This is pretty simple stuff. This might be able to be done with that bead roller thing. Over here, there's a little bit of rot between this pinch weld of this panel here and the outer A-post. So I'm probably going to cut this off up here, get to the underside, make a new L here, and that'll be no problem. Up here it looks solid enough. That's nice. The inner A is a little worse than I thought. It's actually all along here, I think pretty tough shape, right along this, all the way up to here. So I can, again, it's not thick gauge or anything, so I can probably fabricate that really easily too. And actually, instead of cutting it out, I'm going to drill out the spot welds and do it that way. Boy, these are random spot welds. Oh, they're all over the place. Okay, I cut this. So I'm going to try to extract this L piece and then assess what I'm going to do with the inner. I think the inner's in better shape than I thought, except for the edge. Edge is down here. So we'll see. It's not too bad. I can make this part quite easily, with the shrinker stretcher especially. This one's a little punky here at the seam, but the the inner part, it's very structurally fine. I can sandblast that. So I thought I was going to replace it. I'll just replace the very bottom. The rest of it's in good shape. Okay, I cut off the inner section of the A-post. It's actually a little punky on the where it's lapped over here, so I'm just gonna replace maybe just the edges because the rest of it's fine. I removed this outer A post section that wrapped under behind here. All these spot welds were failed, so it actually just came right off. I didn't have to drill them out. That's this piece here. So that's out. I'm going to replace that. Now I just got to sandblast it all, and then I'm going to probably just prime it with something good. Alrighty-dighty. So I think the strategy should be I will replace the stuff at the bottom, get it all down to the sill, weld it in, and then I'll be able to mess around up here and everything should stay, you know, better. I don't want to have it all loose on the both top and bottom, so that's my plan anyway. Alright, so I was going to make the inner A-post lower section, and I actually had a couple attempts. I tried twice, and I tried to use the tipping wheel here that I made for myself, and it actually works really well. It's easy to use, and it's kind of nice. It just came out nice as far as starting to do it, but I think the problem is if you try to do a curve, this is my template. That's pretty sharp relative to what I think the capability of the tipping wheel method is. It just seems to smooth the curves when you start folding it over the final 90 degrees. So you can see here I tried to massage it with my hammer and some dolly stuff, but it's just not good enough. It's not tight enough. It doesn't fit well. So I'm just going to switch to the tried and true method of making a wood form and sandwiching the metal in between. I've done this a lot on my Willis body rebuild. I used this Ipe wood in a lot of the flanges I had to bend, and it works really well. So I'm just going to do that for this, and I'll be able to keep this for the other side when that time comes. That looks pretty good. Now I'll finish this guy in the vise. My other vise. That looks pretty good. It did get a curl there. So I'll just get my shrinker and just get that back to shape, but it's not bad. So I think I have to grease this thing because it's kind of hard to use. Ooh. 2 squeezes and it pretty much brought it in. So it looks pretty flat now. Not perfect, but you know what? That's okay. That'll squeeze in good. Looks good. So I marked out the panel where I want a little step put in. All right. Good enough. Okay, so you saw me fabricate this piece here. It actually came out pretty nice. The shrinker, pretty much my first time using it to this extent. It worked really nicely. If you take small bites, you get nice flat flange, and it's actually it's a little rough, but I can smooth it, and it won't take much to smooth it because it's just a lot of small bites instead of really deep wrinkles. It's hardly wrinkled at all. So I did it in both ends here. Now I did make this extra long. I probably though will cut it off up here. I'm gonna make this foot base here probably in one or in several sections. Actually, one section here. It's gonna wrap down along this flat, and then I'll make this patch here, which I'm showing in paper here. This is an easy, just origami flat fold thing. This, I think, gets spot welded down, and I was going to do these L things I was talking about, but now, since I have access, in here, I can get down there when I do this. Yeah, I think I'll be okay with just doing it the factory way. Okay, I've trimmed it to fit with the A-post. I actually cut it a little wonky here, so I had to weld this back and recut it, so now it's good. I do want to cut holes. I'm going to cut holes in this section here to go down to here. Of course, I have to prime it, and I think before I weld it in, I'm going to make this shoe piece here. So that'll be next. Okay, now for the last part of the whole base here. I've made the folded part. Now I need to make the top shoe section or foot. I don't know what we want to call this, but it's a little deceiving. I made a couple paper templates and they were all a little bit funky, so I really got smart and laid a piece of paper in here and held it down into the curve shape, and then when you look at it, you can see it's flat, or it's straight as you look at it from this angle, but when you flatten this down, it's got a curve. This is the metal I cut out. I'm thinking this is probably going to be a practice piece, but we'll see. So I'm going to use the tipping set of rollers on the bead roller. and bend this flange in here. I think I'll, it wants to tend to go straight, so I'll shrink this. Actually, I should have started that sooner. Maybe I can resurrect this, but let's do that right now. So here is the piece. I had to do, you saw me do the tipping, but I did have to get this in a vise just to sharpen up the edge up here, this inside corner, and it actually did help. But you can see where the angle kind of changes in the middle toward the end as I roll it through here. So this is a very finicky part, and it's a little deceiving. Bit of an update here. Remember, I was looking at it and this end was really kind of high, so I stretched this. You can see the marks, the lines. I used my stretcher, so I stretched it out, and then there was a bit of a bulge here, so I pounded it out and kind of stretched it here too, so now it's swooping down, which it should. So yeah, let me put that step in there, and I think then we'll get really close. Okay, doke. That is not horrible. We're close. We're close. I think I can live with that. Perseverance does it. Okay, just test fitting. It fits nice up against the base of the A-post. It fits nice down to the top of the sill. The pinch weld is all in a single plane here. Very happy with that. It matches the curve pretty well of the new inner A-post. So all in all, it's fitting very well. The only thing remaining is to fold down this part of the piece down so that I can then custom fit it to the curve here. Okay, there it is, pretty much complete. I actually folded this flange down by using a pair of pliers. I marked a line, of course, you can see it faintly there, and just took little bites and kept folding it down, down, down. And then I had to smack it a little bit just to get it into shape, but you know, that works for short flanges like this. And then I trimmed this a little bit so it's kind of getting close to where it needs to be. So I'll do a butt weld when I get these fitted together, but that's basically it. And of course I have to cut this to meet up so it'll butt weld to the flange on the bottom there, but it's looking pretty good. All right, pretty much all trimmed and ready to weld. I'm going to put these two pieces together, then do all the painting and prep for the plug welds on the inside and on this tab. Nice. I like doing gaps. The weld comes all the way through. Okay, I made a mistake and you missed my grinding sequence, but it is complete. I ground the welds and I did a little DA on it just to check out for highs and lows. And this is it, the finished piece. It looks good. So I did also made sure that the welds did penetrate all the way through. I added a couple from the back side. I ground it down here because this is the flap that folds over and contacts the sill here. Right here. Whoops. And yep, I like it. It fits good. The weld gap is good here for the butt weld up the top. Here it is. Ready to go. All primed. It's prepped for plug welds. I traced them out and ground little patches to get the paint off. This is what it looks like on the inside. If you look in there. Yeah. So that's a bunch of welds. This thing will be nice and strong. This is still floating here. I'll do that after I get this welded down. And then that'll be it. The sills and floor will be now back to being a permanent part of the tub. Okay, she's in. Okay. A little ugly on that side, but it's definitely good penetration. We'll look at it on the inside here. I'll take a look. That looks pretty good. I'm happy with that. A couple touch-ups will be good. So yeah, let's do some grinding. Alright, I can't remember if I showed you this yet, but it's all welded in and I ground it flat. And I still have to grind some of this stuff, but man, it's nice and solid. It's great. And now I'm making this piece here, which will basically finish off the whole bottom of the panel. I've got a corner piece I'm making, which I haven't really trimmed yet, but I've got it so it'll match up with those lines near my thumb. So I peeled this away. I'm going to replace this, but I'm going to have to replace a little flange here. And then, of course, I'll patch the whole floor all the way across. Again, that's simple stuff. I'm now currently here. I cut out this section here because it was very soft where my finger's pointing there. And I cut it out. Everything else is pretty good, but I need to make the top of this rib. I lost the top of this rib here, so okay, so I milled a depression in this piece of wood. I've got the piece that I already did a little bit of bead rolling, just the straight sections. So I'm going to put it in here, lay this guy in here to keep it flat. And then I beveled this piece, and I'm just going to smash it down. Now, if this doesn't work, which I'm thinking it won't, I'll make this out of metal, and I think that should work. This is about as hokey as it gets. Okay. Let's see what happens. Oh, looks pretty good. Okay. Oh. But look at that, looks pretty good. I can live with that. It's probably good for another 1 or 2 uses. I guess I'll hang on to that. Might have to make the same thing at the other end on the car. So yeah, not bad. I got this fit, sliced through both layers at the same time and then tacked it in. I'm gonna make a template. Okay, there it is. Acceptable. Okay, here we are in the fun part of the car here. This piece I did salvage, except I did replace the forward-most inch or so because this was all brass here. So I had to cut this off and replace it with new. It's basically part of the floor pan. So I'll graft it to the floor pan I put in the main sections, but this will go in here. And of course there's like a CU shape, upside down U here, that I have to fit this new toe board replacement here. So I got to, where my thumb is here, I have to notch and flange so it can go on top of this thing on the other side. Okay, this piece is ready to go in. I got it primed. I finished this side of the panel, added the slots that allow the fasteners to go in for the baffle that gets mounted on the side. I finished dressing up the flange so it looks much better. It's primed. It's primed on the floor. I added a nut here for that lower fastener which was missing. I trimmed a little metal off the bottom because this flange shouldn't hang down below this level here. I reinstalled this piece of floor that I cut out, the C-channel, and I actually did join it permanently to the new floor here, but here I did not. I'll do that when the floor is, when the tub is taken off the frame, and that hole I'll have to fill because where the marks are, that's where the hole really is. So that can be done when the tub is off the frame. Alright, so the gap down here was way bigger than I wanted it to be. Now I can bridge it, it's fine, it's just be a little more work and a little more messy, but it is in, everything's matching up over here. This side went okay, no problem. So I'll finish trimming the metal over here and then I can go all the way across and then it'll be ready to be fully welded. So yeah. So, yeah, it's a little ugly, but it's not bad. Are you tired of watching this? Boy, I sure am. I didn't really video any of my welding on here or grinding, but obviously I did both. So this piece is fully installed, ground down, not on the inside, but out here. This piece is all done. I do have a couple spots I need to finish welding, and there's a couple pinholes. I still have to finish grinding as well. Even with the apron and wheel well being off, it's still really hard to get in here to do grinding. So you know, it might have been smarter to just replace this whole panel. I'm not sure. Secondly, I did do some spot welding. I have that Harbor Freight spot welder. it's a little disappointing. I think if you do good priming just to protect things, it just gets, the spot welders just too unreliable. So I think I'm going to stick to plug welds, like I did a couple here. That's why here I'm going to do plug welding up here. So this piece is ready to put in. So I'll finish up by getting this piece and a piece over there, and then I'll meet you at the end and put this video mercifully to an end. Okay, there it is, fully welded. All right, this section here is welded and ground down. Not the prettiest, but I think that's the price you pay when you kind of do piecemeal like this. I will definitely have to pay a little more attention when I do the priming and spot, you know, little pinhole filling. But I'm very happy with that. So last thing is to fix this piece down here. So I'll do that last to get this front footwell complete. Okay, there it is. That section is now welded in. I haven't even really done this, but yeah, it's pretty damn strong, pretty nice. Look at that tar crap on the. It lit on fire when I was welding, so I still got some cleaning to do. Okay, I formed the opening in here and just trimmed it up along here. So that section's cut off, all rotted, the bottom section. And there's the new section. So I'm going to weld this together, and I'll probably replace this section. I think it's this side. It's this side. I just got to replace this little patch. Okay, folks, how you doing? This is a long one, and if you're still here, congratulations. And thank you for watching. I'm going to show you the last thing here that I did. This is that plate that goes to the inner A-post. I did actually weld it up here, so it came out really nice. And I don't think I'm going to install it yet because I want to do the repairs up to this piece of A-post, which is like the very big, deep embossed upper inner A-post. That's going to entail cutting into here. Probably, I do want to replace this section at the very least because it's got some pinholes. So that's a big can of worms. I'm not going to start that now, at least for this video. I should give you a shot of the overall sill here down low. So I'm very pleased with it. It's just pretty much back to where it needs to be as far as strength. And I'd love to snap my fingers and have the other side be done, but for now, I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I'm kind of leaning toward removing the B post. I think I'm going to remove it so I can just fix it. It's caved in here. It's got tons of rot. For some reason, it's caved in over here. Now, I know you can buy them new, but geez, I just don't want to spend money in this car like that because, frankly, we all know these cars are not worth that much. So I will endeavor to fix it. But again, who knows? We'll see what happens. I might do that side, start that side, or even just do the cowl. No, I don't know yet. So it'll be a surprise for me and you. So again, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Thank you. Bye-bye.